Shay, one of the spokespeople for American Red Cross, told me after seeing the need in Sand Springs and knowing a lot of the areas here in Tulsa got hit pretty bad, they decided to open up a second shelter location here at the Crosstown Church in Midtown. But you can take a look right here and see some of the things they have. They have cots, bedding material, food, toiletries, everything that's needed to run a full-service shelter. And I'm told by officials here at the church there is also food and snacks inside. This is video of last night's storm that ripped through Sand Springs and parts of Tulsa. The storm produced massive winds, hail, and constant rain. One person died due to the storm, and many others received damage to their homes. Some so bad they had to seek shelter in other places. Many turned to the American Red Cross.
Tulsa area has some great volunteers that are ready on a moment's notice.
Rick Harvey, spokesperson for American Red Cross, says the situation is too fluid to count the exact number of volunteers they have assisting those in need. But he says they did see a need to expand.
We got word earlier today that there were some areas in this vicinity of Tulsa that had some power outages and some minor damage.
They opened a second shelter at Crosstown Church in Midtown.
There'll be food and snacks and a place for them to spend the night if someone does need a place to stay.
He says no matter what, volunteers are here, even for those people who just need to talk.
That's all you need sometimes, is to know that somebody really cares about you.
Now, there haven't been many people come through the doors at this church yet, but officials tell me that this is around the time that a lot of people are getting off of work, so they anticipate seeing more people come through those doors throughout the night to get help. I'm going to stay in touch with the people here at American Red Cross, and I'll bring you the latest details on how many people they help on Fox 23 News tonight at 9. Reporting live in Midtown, Eddie Randall, Fox 23 News. Michelle Cato works at the hotel where the bodies were found. She says that she watched as police and OSBI went into that room, and she said she had to see her friend laying on the ground lifeless. She says that's one image she cannot get out of her head.
My mom called me and said that the housekeeping people had found 2 people in 111 that were dead.
Michelle Cato works here at the Carolyn Inn and says she knows one of the victims found dead in one of the rooms. Sadly, she says she saw the bodies as police and OSBI investigated.
There's blood everywhere. I mean, everywhere. And she was on the bed and he was on the floor.
OSBI tells me they suspect foul play because of the amount of blood found. I learned they also found drugs in the room. Cato says she's known one of the victims, Jake Wright, for about 7 years and says he was a good kid.
Friendly, he could just strike up a conversation with anybody. Easy to get along with.
She tells Fox 23 she remembers the last time she saw and spoke to him.
Yeah, I had just seen him hours before. I'd gotten a cigarette from him just a few hours before.
She tells me she didn't know much about the woman, but she says she still mourns for her loved ones.
It's just terrible. I mean, I'm sorry for the loss for her family too, especially for her kids, her mom.
The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation says the bodies have been taken to the Tulsa Medical Examiner's office, and they hope to have details on the cause of death by Tuesday. As Cato wipes away tears, she tells me there's only one answer she can come up with.
He was in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's what it boils down to.
OSBI is still investigating this double homicide. I also talked to people who live here in Bristow and tell me they're tired of seeing young people get involved in the wrong crowds. I'm breaking down their plan to stop that on Fox 23 News at 10. Reporting live in Bristow tonight, Eddie Randall, Fox 23 News. Clay, many people's yards look just like this. Their fences are lined with shingles and other pieces of debris, most that flew over from other houses.
It felt like a long time, but it was quick.
Lori Cundiff says she watched as the storm made its way down her street.
Then we heard the sound of the train, and my mom always said, you hear the sound of that train, then you better run. So we ran inside.
That's when her and her daughter, along with other friends and family members, took cover. She showed me these pictures they snapped as the storm got closer and says she can remember the noise blaring from outside.
The sound sounded like the roof was going to come off.
She tells me that's when she really became scared.
I have windows in every room, and there's really no safe spot. So we put the refrigerator in front of the window in the kitchen, and we kind of all huddled between the dining room and the kitchen.
What were you thinking when all that was going on?
I was scared, and I thought I was going to not survive it.
Many people I talk to on this street tell me they can't believe the damage that this storm did, but they say all they can do is pick up the pieces and move forward. Reporting live tonight in West Tulsa, Eddie Randall, Fox 23 News. Oh, this right here?
Yeah.
So just a matter of a couple of days ago, the water was up to here.
Yes, yeah.
Rick Coote says Friday morning he came down to the creek to see how high the water had risen after thunderstorms and rain rolled through the area.
That's when I discovered the truck in the water.
He says a Muskogee County deputy came out and they found a woman in the truck. Coote tells me after deputies began investigating, that's when they were able to determine another person could be in the creek.
Last time she was seen, she had a gentleman with her. The last time he had been seen, he was seen with her. So they put two and two together.
Saturday morning, deputies returned to the area and discovered a man in the creek about a quarter mile downstream from the road. Coote tells me in the decades he's lived in the area, he's never seen anyone drown, but says it can be dangerous for the unfamiliar.
Fast-moving water across this low water crossing, when it gets high, is just dangerous. It's very, very dangerous. People just shouldn't drive off into it.
I'm not even that far into the creek and the water is already near my calf. That just lets you know how dangerous this area can be when the water rises. He says there may be a way to prevent this from happening again.
I think it'd be nice if there was some kind of a water marker so people could tell how deep the water was over the water crossing.
Both bodies were taken to the medical examiner's office in Tulsa, and the Oklahoma Highway Patrol is investigating the accident. Reporting live tonight in Muskogee County, Eddie Randall, Fox 23 News. Clay, I'm about one street over from where that tornado ripped through that mobile home park, but right here in this neighborhood, a lot of damage still done. I'm going to step out the way and you can see this tree is completely uprooted from the ground and it's laying directly into this house. People I talked to say they couldn't believe their eyes.
And there's a lot of damage. I had no idea the storm was this bad. I had no clue.
Patty Taylor tells Fox 23 she grew up in this neighborhood and is shocked by the damage the storm left behind.
Baby sat across the street. This is my stomping grounds. I had no idea the storm was this bad. A tree in Mr. Beach's house.
She tells me she was at work in downtown Tulsa when the storm hit.
We could hear what sounded like hail, like rocks or marbles being thrown at the building and on our cars and stuff, but none of us had any idea.
She says it's hard to compare her childhood memories of this street to what she sees now. You can see right here, tree limbs are scattered everywhere, shingles lay in yards. People I talk to say they are thankful they still have their lives, but to see how a storm can destroy a whole street in seconds is unbelievable.
I'm somewhat shaken, honestly. I walked around it and it doesn't even seem real. I can't imagine. I mean, this tree's been here for ages and ages, and now it's just like laying in somebody's house and it's uprooted from the ground.
I also talked to a mother who tells me this was one of the scariest things she's ever lived through. I'm putting that story together, all new for Fox 23 News at 10. Live in Sand Springs tonight, Eddie Randall, Fox 23 News.